Podcast City Network. You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Welcome to the Everett Lee Show. I'm the Everett Lee. Today on the program, my guest is a good friend of mine. I've talked to him on a lot of podcasts. On Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, I had him on an episode of ELS Uncut and with David C. Russell of Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast. But I've never had him on the Everett Lee Show. So tonight is the first time that I've had my guest on the Everett Lee Show. I want to welcome to the program tonight none other than Mr. Fitness, Slim Trimmons. How you doing, Mr. Fitness?
With the key power, I'm doing great. I'm so excited. I'm getting ready to get back in the ring. I can't wait.
Hell yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Hell yeah.
Thanks for having me on, by the way.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Because we've done so much podcast together on other shows, and I've never had you on the Everett Lee Show. I've had you on my uncensored podcast, which was ELS Uncut, a radio style podcast, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast. I've done that quite a bit with David C. Russell, but I've never actually had you on as a guest on the Everett Lee Show after all this time.
Yeah, it's such an honor to be a guest on the Everett Lee Show. Finally.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it. That's great.
Yes. And, of course, I did bring something with me. As always, this is the only time that I enjoy doing this, and I only pull this out for special occasions.
Great. Diet Coke. Yes, good, man.
Diet Coke.
Good, man.
And Twinkies.
Yes. Yes, indeed. You are the man. You are following the plan.
Yes, I am, man. Yes, I am. Cheers to that.
Cheers. And I got to tell you, Everett Lee, what's it doing for you? What's a Twinkie and Diet Coke plan doing for you right now?
The Twinkie and Diet Coke plan is it's really good, man. I could feel the Twinkie power going through my veins, man.
How much weight have you lost already?
How much weight I've lost already? I've lost about 5 pounds already. 5 pounds.
Congratulations. I'm expecting 3 pounds, but you said 5. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. That extra 2 pounds is chasing my 3-year-old daughter around trying to get her to use the potty.
Yep, that will do it. That will definitely do it. Speaking of teaching your kids how to potty, my kid had a problem with going poop, and he was always afraid that poop would come out of his butt. So I had to show him like Spider-Man illustrations of Spider-Man pooping, and then as soon as I started doing that, he started pooping with no problems now. So hey, whatever works, it works, man. So
it's been crazy trying to do that to her since quarantine, because since I've been out of work, I've had that extra time to actually help and try to potty train her, because it's
a lot of work.
Yeah, you got that right, man. It's something that needs to be done. It's something that needs to be done. Yeah,
it's a rough job, but Dad's got to do it, Mom's got to do it, and sooner or later, it's going to happen. So now my kid's riding a bike without training wheels. He just learned how to ride his bike without them last week. So it's just like I was expecting at the end of summer when he was going to do it, but he's doing it right now. So it's like, wow, time goes by so fast. They have a hard time with things, and then all of a sudden, bam.
They
figure it out.
they do figure it out. I had my daughter a couple years ago. Actually, it was about probably a year ago. For Christmas, I got her a bike with training wheels, and
sure,
she's been riding around there in the house here every once in a while. But she's starting to get the hang of it there, which I'm happy about.
Yes, they definitely will eventually. And when they do, I was so excited that I had to go online and get my son a bicycle helmet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And the joy that comes with seeing your kid doing something for the first time is amazing.
It is. It is. My daughter gets really excited because when she's smart, man. I can't believe how smart she is.
Yeah,
she could take a puzzle. She loves my mom to death. She loves her to death, and she loves doing puzzles. And me and my wife went out one night for my nephew's, I think it was his dinner party before he got married the night before, and we went out to that. So she watched her. We come back to pick her up. She's sitting there at one of those card tables, sitting on my mom's lap there, helping her put together a 500-piece puzzle.
That's great.
3 years old, 500-piece puzzle. And she did not want to leave until she got it done. She had like a few more pieces done. I'm like, come on. She's like, no, Daddy. No. Here, puzzle.
Oh, yeah, it definitely teaches them with shapes and all of that. And once they got it down, you're like, man. Even with my son Aaron, he knows like all this technology stuff. I'm like, I don't even know that stuff. It's like, you're 5 years old. How in the heck do you know that? And I don't. So, the kids are amazing.
Yeah, she'll get a hold of my wife's phone and she'll go through and watch PJ Masks and other type of programming on there, and she knows how to pull up the videos. But when she comes to the ads, she'll bring me the phone. There's all these ads popping up all over the phone.
Speaking of PJ Masks, I'm actually looking across at the PJ Masks headquarters right now.
Nice.
Yeah, he has the headquarters. He has all that stuff, PJ Masks. So he absolutely loves those guys.
That's great, man. That's great. Yeah. My daughter and your son would get along perfectly. They'd get along perfectly.
Yeah. My son, he's not shy whatsoever. He's polite when he plays with newer kids and invites them to do things with them. And we got a park in our house with this kid, the neighbor. He came walking by the other day and he said, "Hey, you want to come play with me? And you want to come out there in the park?" And just trying to make him feel comfortable. The kid was still shy, like, but, Aaron is all about it. He has no shy bone in his body whatsoever.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
My daughter could be shy. She could be really outgoing, but then after she warms up to you, she's so outgoing because she's shy. Yeah. But as soon as she lets loose, that's it, man. That is it.
It takes about 5 minutes, and they're jumping on you and beating you up and all that, and jumping on your neck, and they'll get used to it pretty quick.
Yeah, my daughter likes wrestling around there. We'd sit there and wrestle around in the room there. She has a big room and big floor, and we'll roll around there on the carpet and stuff. I'll run around the house, chase her. She'll run back, and I'll hide behind the door, and she'll come in and look. And I jump out at her, and she screams, she runs, and here comes Daddy.
Love it. Yeah, Aaron's like, let's go boom, Dad. Let's go boom. He calls it boom because I took him to a show one time over in Indiana, Osceola, Indiana, or something like that. And it was so loud, the echo in that building was so loud that all he can, hear is the boom. So he doesn't call it wrestling. He doesn't call it that. He goes, boom, let's go boom, Dad. Are you going to boom, Dad? Are you going booming this weekend? That's how he says it. So that's cute. I don't say, oh, no, it's called wrestling. I just let him be who he is. If he wants to call it boom, let him call it boom.
I like that.
Yeah.
When I was interviewing FGW talent last few weeks, a lot of
talent there.
Yeah, a lot of talent I've talked with. But when I was looking at matches, Shauna Reed, my daughter stopped what she was doing and she said, "What you doing, Daddy?" Well, watch Shauna Reed wrestle, and she'd sit there and watch, and she watched that match with me when Shauna Reed and Logan Blackheart. She sat there and watched that with me, and She was cheering Shauna on, man. She liked Shauna.
Yeah, Shauna Reed's a great girl. Every time I'm in the back locker rooms with her at shows, she always asks me for a Twinkie, and I always save her a Twinkie. So next time you have her on the show, ask her about it. I always save her a Twinkie, and she eats it too. She loves the Hostess Twinkies.
I do too, man. I mean, they've
Yeah, they're wonderful. The cream within, you know, who doesn't like a Twinkie?
yeah,
You know, the kids, all of us, grown-ups, it doesn't matter. Twinkies are awesome. And I know back when they went bankrupt years ago, oh, man, I was devastated. It's like, oh, what am I going to do? You know, it's just like, I have to settle for a generic Twinkie or a Zinger now, or I don't know what I got to do. But, hey, they came back. I'm excited. Now I can, you know, spread the love and share Twinkies with people in the back, all the fans, you know, and I enjoy doing that. You know, I'm surprised of all the workers in the back that come up and ask me for Twinkies. It's crazy, you know. They're like, oh, can I have a Twinkie? And I make sure I always bring enough for them as well, because I know they're going to dig into my box as I'm getting ready to go out to the ring. So, you know, it's cool. It's a good time.
It is. And you said zingers. That's one of my other favorite things from Hostess. I love zingers. God.
Oh yeah.
I seen them in the store one time, and this is how I got hooked on them. I seen them in the store. I said, zinger. What's zinger? So every time I'd go back to the store there, I'd see zinger. So I said, you know what? I gotta try it. Yeah. So I tried it out, and it's too good, man. Too good.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're amazing with coffee too in the morning. I like when I go to work and stuff. Sometimes I'll have some leftover zingers in the cupboard. I was like, oh man, this is going to go really good with coffee. And man, they're amazing. It's like I have to dip my zingers in my coffee, and oh, you got to try it, Everett.
I'm going to have to. I'm a coffee drinker.
It's ecstasy to your mouth. Let me just say that. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to try that. There, I'm gonna have to try zinger and coffee, man. I'm gonna have to.
You got to let me know how it tastes, man, because I tell you what, it's great.
I am. I definitely am. Since we're on the topic of Hostess, I don't know if you were asked this before. I don't know if I've asked you this before, but with everything you do with Twinkies and wrestling, are they aware of what you do with their product? I'm just curious.
You know, I remember back in, I think it was 2014, I wrote a 6-page letter telling them I wanted to be their poster boy for the Twinkies, and I never heard back from anything. It was a letter. You know, with technology coming out now, you know, you can type something up. I've never gone, you know, and done it again. You know, I never heard a response back, but, you know, doesn't mean I'm going to stop. You know, I did have thoughts of maybe doing it again in the future, and then it would go away, and then, you know, I'd think it again. And I have some guy from Jersey give me ideas. Oh, hey, let me, you know, make up a draft for you and send it out. And my t-shirt guy makes all my merch, and he has a bunch of ideas for me, and he wants to do that and send them messages. So I would love to. I would love for him to send me a message one day and say, "Oh, hey, we want you to, go around and promote Twinkies." I absolutely love it. It'd be so cool.
That would be awesome. Here's an idea. Have one of the representatives invite them to a show that you're at.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah. Do that right there. Just invite one of the representatives to a show, man. Get them in there. Yeah. Let them see what you do with it, because that will open up their eyes.
Yeah, I thought about that before, saying, man, only if executive would just come to one of my shows and hear these people scream. Like, I'm like throwing out money. It's what it seems like. It's just like when I, open up my gym bag and I put that Twinkie up there in the air, they absolutely go nuts. I can't hear myself thinking whatsoever. And if an executive seen that, I was just like, man, that would be so awesome, And they can set up their own Twinkie booths, and, we can go and they can give me like a tour bus with a Twinkie made out of a Twinkie or whatever. I don't know. We can come up with all kinds of ideas. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah. Yeah, the possibilities are endless, because also That would be awesome. It'd be like the 93 Lex Express, but the Mr. Fitness Express.
Yeah, the Twinkie Express. Yeah, you know. I'm bleeding Twinkie cream, baby. No, I don't know. We'll come up with some kind of slogan, but from the cream within is where the power lies. That doesn't sound good either. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
You'll come up with something, man. I know you will, because you're such a great guy, and with everything that you've done in wrestling. I watched the episode that you did with Cody Fleming on Wrestling Rage. I love that.
Yes.
I love
what a great guy he is. I've said this many times. I was the second guest on Wrestling Rage. I actually met Cody at Blue Water Championship Wrestling, and we became friends up there. And then this is way before he started his Wrestling Rage and Michigan Independent Wrestling and all that, and we just hung out after the show, and we connected, and we became good friends. My wife became friends with his wife, and it was a cool thing, and Cody, man, I can't say enough good things about him. He's one amazing man, that's for sure. Helps out with the school there, teaching kids martial arts up there in Port Huron, and it's pretty cool what he does, for kids and, stuff like that. And with him doing Wrestling Rage right now and Michigan Independent Wrestling, it shows that he's truly passionate about what he does, with everything he does. And he's got a great character. And, those are the type of friends I absolutely love. And I can't say anything bad about Cody Fleming whatsoever.
I found him on Facebook. I was going through some stuff on Facebook, and all of a sudden I come upon Wrestling Rage. What's Wrestling Rage? Actually, I think it was on the Facebook Live Wrestling page group. You know that page right there where everyone puts all their stuff out there? I think I think that's where I found him at. I saw one of his videos on there, so I started looking into it, and then I found him on Facebook, so I followed him, and then I was looking at more of his stuff there, and I invited him on. I love what he does, and what he does for independent wrestling, because just like him, when I started out, all I did was talk about WWE and NXT, and
sure.
That's all I talked about. But then after a while there, you realize that there is a lot of people who talk about that. So you fall into that category of the million some people who have a podcast. Oh, I have a podcast. Oh, you do? What you talk about? Wrestling? Oh, a WWE. No, it's not that. I talk about independent wrestling, or you talk about, you have interviews with independent wrestlers, and that's the route I decided to go, because there's so many podcasts out there that cover WWE. I mean, I watch the pay-per-views, but I've kind of fallen off the product there. It's just, I'm not one of those type of people that get on social media and use it as an outlet to talk and say, oh, I can't stand this product. So I don't need to do that, because there's people out there who already do that, so I don't have to. Right.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. There's a lot of podcasts out there just doing WWE, but there's so much more out there, that is so much more to talk about. There's wrestlers out there that no one even knows about, and for you guys to bring them on and show them to the world, and man, that's amazing, man. It's outside of the big feds out there, and that's pretty cool that you guys give us the spotlight, and it's much appreciated. And where we can tell our stories and all that. And like you said, there's a lot of guys just want to talk WWE, but there's so much more out there to explore and discover. And thank God for the internet, man. You can find all kinds of stuff out these days.
Yeah.
You can watch all kinds of wrestling, all kinds of different podcasts. It's cool. It's really cool what's out there today in the technology.
It is. You can find almost about anything that if you're really looking for it there. I was having a conversation with Ryan Michaels last night trying to look up certain matches, and he's like, I'm hard to find on YouTube. So I was telling him, yeah, you are hard to find because when you put in his name, all this other stuff related to Ryan Michaels comes up, which is not him. Like, I told him, I said, it's U.S. high school wrestling and basketball come up, and there's no wrestling of, like, this Ryan Michaels, which I'm looking for. So
he needs to keep on building it then to where his name comes on first when you type it in.
Yeah. But I figured it out. Ryan Michaels Wrestling, and then there you go. There's what I was looking for right there. Some pretty good matches there. I looked up some of your matches too, man. You've had some really fun, entertaining matches there. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that.
There's so many. Officer Rod Street, the police department. I've always had a riot with those guys. They come out there, and I'd usually bring them donuts and throw them at them, and, they'd dodge them, and, we'd have fun with them. FIA, Frank Isaac Anderson, he'd always get people for welfare fraud, and I'd come out there and shove Twinkies in their mouth, and they absolutely love it. Choke them by the tie. He'd come out in suspenders, kind of like IRS.
Yeah.
But he's trying to collect food stamp cards and got major heat with the crowds. And once I came out there, they don't care who you are. If you're a babyface and you're getting ready to come out wrestling this guy, you're automatically going to get cheered no matter what with him. But those are some of my funnest matches that I've had and over the years. And the comedy, that's me, man. I absolutely love getting in the ring with characters like that. And I like to work our magic together. We always blend so well together. And, I can always see the fans' faces, and the looks and the expressions on their faces and what they're watching, how they're totally entertained by what we're doing out there. And, and they get to go home with a Twinkie box, and that's cool too. They cherish it like they just won a big jackpot. It's still amazing to me to this day that they look at it like that and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I caught a Twinkie box," and they're going nuts over it. And I had a lot of fun times over the past 20 years in the ring. Yeah, it's been fun.
Wow,
no doubt.
20 years, man. That's amazing. That's amazing. Then,
back in the day when I first started, I thought it was all about the flips and the bumps. And, when I was in training, I was a big guy. I was 330 pounds at the time. And, I'd bump like a lightweight, and, they call me Bumper in class. And, I'd go out there and do it. Now I'm paying for it today. It's just like, man, with the character of Mr. Fitness on Trimmons, he doesn't need to bump anymore. What are you doing? As the years go by, you learn how to be a little bit smarter in that ring and save your body a little bit. So I have learned that over the years. So, but you never stop learning. So
right. Yeah, you never stop learning. That's one thing, because I'm always learning something new here and there every day, doing no matter what it is I'm doing. And I've learned that it's good to learn something new every day, keeps the mind fresh, because your mind's always learning, always. It never stops.
You always got to keep your mind going, and learning. And, it's amazing. I went through training, and, like 4 years later, I learned something totally different. It's just like, it blew my mind. It's like, man, there's so much out there to learn. And all those young guys out there today, keep learning, keep going, doing your thing. And it's amazing what all you can learn in wrestling, the ins and outs. And after the wrestling shows to before you get there to in between, it's like you're always learning. And the best part about it is meeting all these new people and creating friendships with them too over the years, and that's the most special part to me now. That like people like you, Robin, Cody, man, if I wasn't on the road doing that, I would have met awesome people like you. So, that's the most special part to me right there. Definitely.
I do appreciate that, man. I do. We've had some crazy moments there. I know that last podcast we did with David C. Russell from Deathmatch Wrestling Podcast.
We like to get crazy on David Russell show.
Yeah, we do. If we want to act crazy, we get together and we just go on David's show because we can go there and act crazy.
Add Pinky Shortcake to the mix, and once Pinky Shortcake and I are together, oh man, it's over.
I enjoyed that, man. I enjoyed talking to you two there on his show there, just doing pretty much just having a good time talking about different things.
Yeah.
And
I was so happy to see you on there. That was cool, man. I always love talking to you guys together too.
Yeah, that almost didn't happen. Because David hit me up there. It was kind of like last minute thing, and he's like, "Hey, you want to come on?" And I said, "David, you know how I am about last minute things." And he's like, "Come on, man!" And he told me what he was going to do, and I was like, "You know what?" I said, "I'm not going to promise you anything. If I can do it, I'll do it. But this is what I'm going to do." And so I filled him in what I was going to do. So what happened was that led to me being able to get on there, and I hit him up and I'm like, "I'm ready to come on. I'm good." So that's how that happened right there.
Yeah, that was Friday too. He hit me up and said, "Hey man, come on with One Man Crew and stuff." And I had a car show to go to, and I definitely would want to, but it didn't work out. But definitely another time, I told him, I was like, "Yeah, well, put us together." Oh no. So about One Man Crew, but yeah, he asked me that day. He's like, "Hey, let's get added to the show," and I wish I could because we'd probably be talking for about 3 hours. With all the stories that we've had together over the years.
Yeah, it'd been like the Joe Rogan episode with Alex Ross. That took me 2 days to listen to. 2 freaking days, man, to listen to that, because that was almost a 5-hour show. It was just nuts listening to that there, because I looked at the time on it and I was like, wow. It's like these guys can go on, and I listened to half of it. Yeah, I listened to half of it one day, and the next day I finished it up. 2 days. That's the longest I think I've actually listened to a show. 2 days.
Oh yeah,
that's nuts.
You got some entertaining stuff on there. It goes by. It's like, whoa, look at the time. So.
Mm-hmm. I think the longest show that I've done almost ran about 3 hours.
Oh wow!
3 hours. That's
You're
the
having
longest.
fun. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the shortest show that I've ever done was probably about 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did a 30-minute podcast. I did 30-minute podcast. I did the episode with, I think it was the Gold Rush Solomon Stone. He came on, something came up, and he said, I can only give you 30 minutes. I said, that's fine.
Maybe he had to go to the bathroom and go pee, lost his bladder or something. I don't know.
It was a little bit more than that. But, yeah. So he's like, yeah, gonna have to cut it short this week. I said, that's fine. I said 30 minutes to get on, and I hit my points, and he promoted and said what he had to say, and then that was pretty much it. And then I sat here and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? I didn't know what to do with myself. It's like, edit the podcast, Denver. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I did. I sat here. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I've never did a 30-minute show before. I usually run an hour to almost 2 hours, depending on the guest and conversation. Because
oh yeah,
it gets so good. It gets really good.
It definitely can, no doubt about that.
Yeah, it definitely can. I know you mentioned when you were on Wrestling Rage about having your shoulder and everything and getting back in the ring and stuff. I'm glad that everything's worked out for you to where you're going to be able to get back in the ring there.
Yeah, December 14th of 2019, I broke my shoulder in the ring against Idle Hines in Warsaw, Indiana, for FWF Wrestling, and it popped multiple times in the match, but I didn't want to stop, and I want to keep going. I knew I broke something, whether it was my arm or shoulder. I didn't know at the time, but I didn't want to stop because the fans were into it. And I was like, if I did break it, it is what it is. I'm going to be out. Let me at least give them their money's worth. And that's what I did. And, but yeah, I had surgery on January the 2nd of 2020. And what a painful weeks those were. I tell you what, the first 4 weeks, I was in agony. I couldn't lay down. I had to sit up. I was constantly in pain. Wanted pain pills all the time, and thank God I weaned off of those.
Yeah.
I had a buddy up in Michigan, Chuck Wagon from Detroit. He brought me some care packages, gave me liquids and stuff that actually helped even better than what the pills did for me. So that was cool. I did stuff naturally, and and now today I still get a little tightness in my shoulder, and I'm working it out. I'm able to lift it up a little bit, not fully yet. And, June 27th is my first match back in Warsaw, Indiana. And Heat Wave. And Indiana, it's opening up after the coronavirus, so there's a lot of stuff opening up there. So, I'm getting excited to come back. I got a new look. I cut my hair. I'm going to bleach it before I need a tan. I'm white. This is the whitest I've ever been. But I'll be ready. I may not be 100%, but I'm still going to go in there, and do the best I can. I'm not going to do anything crazy, but one thing I am going to do is I'm going to entertain that crowd and get them screaming for Twinkies. That's for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I love it. I love it, man. I'm excited to see you get back in the ring there. Now, have you working out? Have you done a light workout, change up your routine and everything after you've had the surgery there?
Yeah, for a while I couldn't do anything with my arm, and then I slowly progressed. Especially with COVID going on right now, I couldn't go to the gym. I tried the gym a little before, and it was kind of hard to do machines and stuff. So then I rediscovered Taibo, Billy Blank's Taibo on YouTube, and I start doing them like after work. When I get off of work, I'd start doing the rolling like he used to do, and it actually strengthened up here, and it got my arms stronger. So nice. I've been doing Taibo to strengthen my arm, and it's actually working. So there's some positive things with that going on, so it'll help me, I think, at the end of June to be more ready.
That's amazing, man. I like that. I like that. Billy Blank's Taibo. I remember when that I know. I remember when that stuff was the craze when it first came out. Remember when it first came out, man?
Yeah. Everybody was buying the VHS tapes. They had like 4 VHS tapes in the box set. Yeah. You had your beginner, your intermediate, and advanced, and introductional 8-minute workout program.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Billy Blanks, he's awesome. He's still doing stuff. I seen he was doing some quarantine Taibo he actually created. It was so weird because ever since I started doing Taibo, all of a sudden after all these years, his name started popping up again. I'm like, how the hell is this going on? Somebody's viewing my stuff knowing I'm watching Billy Blanks, and now that's all I hear,
Yeah.
It's weird. He definitely makes you sweat and stuff and all that. So, it's pretty cool. I actually put my back out of place. I was on it for like 6 weeks.
Oh, damn.
I was mowing the grass one day, and I have a push lawnmower, and my arm started to get stiff, like I was telling you.
Uh-huh.
And it's where I started using just my good arm, and I kept twisting and turning, and I popped my back out of place for a week, so it put me down, and it's just so depressing. I was like, oh no, man, I've had enough pain. I don't want no more pain no more. And but it's going now, and gyms here in Ohio open up June 1st now.
Right.
I guess my gym does. I think it was the 26th of May when some gyms opened up in Ohio, but I'm looking forward to going back in the gym and training. I still got a month left to work my butt off and see where it goes.
Yeah. I mean,
now if I can lay off the salads and stuff like that, then I'll be okay and just stick to pizza, fried chicken, Twinkies, and Diet Coke will be good.
nice. Nice. I love salad. That's one of the foods I can eat and never get tired of is eating a salad. I like making a homemade salad. I like buying the bag of salad. I like to throw that in.
Stuff.
It is good stuff, man. It is.
It is.
It is. I throw salad in a bowl. I throw some bacon bites on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Mexican 4 cheese from Kraft and some ranch dressing. Yeah. I'm set. I am set.
They actually have those like combined in bags you can buy at the grocery store. It's all combined, where they have their separate packages of their Mexican cheese and their Caesar sauce and chicken. You just pour it all in. It's so good. They have like Asian salads, Caesar salads, all kinds of salads. But what I do like to do is I like to cook grilled chicken on the grill.
Yes.
And cut them up in slices and put them all over a salad. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Excuse
Good
me.
stuff.
Yeah, since you're talking about grilled chicken, I learned from my brother how to. One summer, I decided to cook chicken wings on the grill. And
I made some last night, actually.
Oh, you did some tonight?
Yeah, last night I did. Yeah. Nice.
And he showed me a trick there, and it worked really good. He took the chicken wings. He said, "Where's your chicken wings?" I said, "They're right here." Didn't add nothing, plain chicken wings. So he gets a pot, he throws them in the pot, and he boils them for about 15 minutes. Then he says, okay, put them on the grill. And right before I put them on the grill, I barbecued them. I used that Sweet Ray's, Baby Ray's barbecue sauce.
That's good barbecue. That's the best barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
so I doctored them all up there and put them on the grill, and I grilled them. And then when they were done, and when you took it off the meat, they came right off the meat like nothing.
Right off. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I thought it was pretty cool.
Man, it makes my mouth water, and even though I had it last night, man, I want to make it again.
Yeah, I loved learning that little trick there. That's one thing I learned about. I like about when I'm cooking different things. Finding those little tricks out like that actually helps, that you don't really think about, which I think is amazing there. Having Big Brother showing you something like that is just great.
Yeah, I love to cook out, man. I think it was last week. I was making hot dogs and brats, and had bacon in the refrigerator. I was like, man, I wonder if I wrap them up, like on the dogs, and put them on a bun. Man, how good that would be! It was excellent.
Oh damn! I love bacon.
Wrapped brats and hot dogs. I just had all this extra stuff. I like to mix things together and see how they taste and try new things. That's how I've always been. Yeah. And I tried that, and man, and you put coney sauce on it after that.
Oh
take the
God!
Bite, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Oh man.
That's amazing.
Hungry, Everett.
You're getting hungry. You're making me hungry talking about bacon, man.
Oh man, I'm getting hungry.
One thing I like doing is I like cooking breakfast. I'll fix my wife's scrambled eggs. I'll fix her scrambled eggs. God. I'll fix bacon. When I'm done fixing the bacon, and after I get done, when I get it to where for my need, how it looks, not too burnt, not too crisp, just kind of right there in the middle.
Yeah.
I'll take ham out of the fridge and I'll throw it in that bacon grease, and I'll cook some ham in bacon grease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah. My wife, she loves it because one day I cooked bacon and I looked at the bacon and I said to myself, something else needs to go with this. And I said, hey, hon, grab that ham out of the fridge. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to fry some ham in this bacon grease. You're what? I said, yeah, let me try that. Let me have it. I popped it in there and I ended up cooking it, and I'm sitting there. I got it brown on one side, flipped it over, brown on the other. Bacon grease is flying everywhere and stuff. And then we put it on the plate there. We sat there at the table. I said, here, try it. She's like, I love ham. I said, try this. She tried it. She's like, oh, God, this tastes so good. I said, what do you taste? And she says, tastes like bacon. I said, hell yeah. Like bacon grease. My brother's
husband. As a good husband, do you like make her a smiley face on the plate where it looks like a smiley face for her? Or?
I haven't done that yet. I should do that. I should do that one day.
Yeah. Give it a shot. Yeah. You might earn some brownie points.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I could probably get some brownie points for that, man.
Keep it alive, baby.
She hasn't been feeling that great here lately because of allergies and the way this weather changes, and it messes with me every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it messes me up because I don't know how I've been lucky, knock on wood, for the fact that I'm able to come on and sound like I do, because it seems like at the beginning of the day, I get up and I say to myself, it's like, fix my cup of coffee, and I sit here. Wife starts talking to me. I'm like, I was like, I can't do a podcast tonight, man. And then all of a sudden it clears up. But I'm lucky. I'm lucky. It is. It's something just how this weather changes stuff. And here the month's almost over in June, and one thing I'm starting to get worried about now is hurricane season here in Florida. Hurricane season. Oh,
not bad, especially with you down there in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. June to November are it stresses me out.
Sure.
Those months stress me out because we had that one year where we had 2 hurricanes almost back to back. I had to leave.
Yeah.
Or I had to stay at my house. I can't remember, though. But my fence didn't make it. And I got to replace half my fence that needed to be replaced because it just got so bad. My fence couldn't hold it. So I said, I'm going to start fixing the bad parts of my fence. So if anything happens this year, let's hope not, then my fence is going to be all right, though. But with everything going on around the world with this pandemic and people not out as much, the weather and the environment in a lot of places has refurbished into it's come back, and they say that may play an effect on this year for the hurricane season. It may be bad.
Yeah, good possibility.
Yeah,
we shall see.
Yeah, yeah. If a tidal wave happens to come rolling up through Ohio, there, don't be surprised to see me on the surfboard heading that way to get away from a hurricane.
Head my way, man. Yeah, come on down. Come on up. I mean, surf's up, dude.
Yep, surf's up, man. I'll be coming in there. You'd be like, "Hey, it's Everett Lee." It's like, "What's up, man?" "Hey, man, I just got on that wave, man. I just came up here."
Waves, dude.
It reminds you of the sea turtle from Finding Nemo. He's my favorite character on that movie.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I'm a sucker for those Pixar movies, man. I love those.
Oh yeah,
movies.
especially when you got kids, you're watching them all.
Yeah,
you know them all too, all the characters, everything, and then you watch them over and over, and here you find yourself, I'm gonna watch it by myself again. When the kids are, yeah, that's how I am.
I've been a fan. I've been a fan of Pixar since Toy Story 1 back in 95.
Nice.
95.
Oh, yeah.
And just over the years, I just say those Pixar movies have been really great, especially with my favorite ones would have to be Wall-E, sits there at the top there. Wall-E's my favorite one.
Yeah, I got Wall-E for my son for Christmas one year. He loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I'd say Wall-E, Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Onward, the new one, Onward. That was a good one. I enjoyed that one there. My daughter, she watches she watches Disney Plus there. She watches a lot of Frozen and Moana. She loves those.
Yeah, Moana's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these kids, they can watch it over and over and over, and they'll never get sick of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Takes me back when I was a kid. Is like, man, I was like that too. I'd watch it and I'd never get tired of it whatsoever.
Yeah. I never get tired of it when I was growing up there watching it. One thing I like about Disney Plus is they got the old Marvel cartoons, the old 90s Spider-Man and X-Men cartoons.
I introduced my son to it. We have Disney Plus as well, and the old school Spider-Man and all that. It's so cool, and showing him stuff that I grew up watching and stuff like that. He's amazed by it, and it takes me back to like I'm watching myself growing up. It's special.
Yeah. Yeah, it is special there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the early 90s Spider-Man and X-Men cartoon because I'd watch on Saturday mornings there. And I was watching it one day and my daughter got hooked on it and she loves Spider-Man and I brought her home a little Spider-Man doll and every time I'd turn it on and watch it, she'd jump up there with me and watch it and have Spider-Man. Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
My son's always going around the house, woo, woo, woo. Those noises he makes in the movies. When he's swinging on the webs, he still does it to this day. It's funny.
That's amazing, man. I was a fan of those movies. There, I loved how they brought Spider-Man back for the MCU. I love that. Tom Holden. I think it was great because what I liked about it was they didn't have to go into another origin story of how Spider-Man became Spider-Man. Because you say, you know who I am, you know who my story. That's all I need to know.
That's all you need. Yeah, right. Yeah, the Spider-Man movies are great. They're very interesting. And even if you aren't a fan of Spider-Man, you sit down and watch them, and it's like you're into it. It's one of those type of movies. Spider-Man's always been awesome.
Yeah, they've always been. It's always been awesome. I watched a couple movies the last couple of days here in between doing a podcast here. I watched the other night. I watched that Kristen Stewart movie, Underwater.
I haven't seen that yet. How was it?
Oh man. If you watch those movies where they got the make you jump out of your seat moments, like, oh shoot, something, it's one of those movies, man. It's a cross between Aliens and The Abyss. That's what it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's the premise of the story is they got this underwater station and they're doing some drilling, and from what not giving too much away, they woke something up and it starts tearing up the station and they got to get out. There's some death scenes, but nothing too like bad. I will spoil one thing. There's one part where a guy, they're in the chamber trying to walk. They have to get out and walk. They're like, we're going out there in the water. You can't see nothing. It's like, well, we need to get to this point. So they're in the chamber and they're the thing's filling up with water, and the guy's mask, it starts cracking, and Kristen Stewart's hollering,
wow.
shut it off. It's like, we can't shut it off. As soon as the water filled up, the pressurized, he imploded from the inside out. It's like,
wow. Yeah. Definitely going to have to check out that movie.
Yeah. And near the end, you get to see what they woke up. and you're like, oh no. Pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. The last part of the movie, some stuff happens, which there's a couple parts I liked, but that was a good movie there. I didn't expect too much into it, and I enjoyed it.
It slowly builds up into some craziness.
Yeah. Think of Alien with Sigourney Weaver and The Abyss with James Cameron. Think of that right there together. There you go.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. And then last night I stayed up late watching Us.
Now that movie is freaky. I actually sat with my son. He loves horror movies like I did when I was his age. He's 5. I was 5, and I absolutely loved them. And I let him watch it, and we were sitting there, and we still talk about that movie, how weird and strange that movie is.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, seeing yourself, coming to yourself like, wow, that's freaky.
Yeah, that's freaky. It is because I was talking to someone about it.
Yeah.
And I only watched up to a certain point, and they said, oh, you didn't see the rest of it, and they said I had to watch it again to understand it. And so I paid attention to
some people do.
Yeah, I paid attention to the beginning of the movie there, and once that played in the play there, I was like, oh, I get it. But the twist at the end, didn't that get you there? Twist at the end. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I encourage people that if they like freaky movies to watch that one. Definitely, you'll definitely be entertained.
I tell you, I was entertained by the husband. He was funny. He's like, man, you take. I got a boat. I got a wallet, and the wife's like, no one wants your boat.
Yeah.
And then
a woman's voice too when she was talking, like, ooh, eerie.
I know. Yeah, when she's talking, she's all, it's like, what?
Oh yeah.
But near the end of the movie, you see the twist with that. That's why she talked like that, and I understood that, man, because of what happened there with the twist. But the husband, it was. I liked it when his doppelganger there came after him, and he took his glasses off, put it on. I was laughing because when he's in the boat there, and he's going. Yeah, my other favorite part was when they run into that family next door, and then the other family showed up and killed them, and she's going across the carpet there, and she's like telling the Alexa thing to, call stop playing, and then to go ahead and call the police, and it said, okay, playing the F the police by interview. That was great, but I liked the little girl when she came in there with the golf club and started whipping butt, man. Yeah, definitely a good flick, definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was done by the same person who did Get Out. I don't know if you saw that one too.
I might have. I see it advertised a lot, and I always, it's one of those movies where you're like, I think I watched that before, but let me check it out and see if I've seen it before. Yeah, one of those types.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Get Out. It was the director did that one first, then he did Us.
I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, Get Out is about the interracial couple, boyfriend girlfriend, and the girlfriend brings the boyfriend to meet home to the parents to meet, and then things don't seem like it is, and all this weird stuff starts happening, and then of course the buddy's like, you don't need to go see the parents, man. And he's like, they're killers, and then he's like, yeah, right, and then everything starts unraveling and everything and stuff, which is just crazy, and just that whole premise of that story was just weird. My wife watched it. She said, yeah, that's okay. I don't really care too much for it after watching it.
Now, is she a fan of those movies most of the time with you, or
not really? Not really. She don't care too much.
She's like, oh, okay, I'll just sit here and watch it because you like it.
Yeah, pretty much. She'll sit there and watch it with me. Sometimes
I like this.
yeah, she'll like it sometimes, but if not, she'll tell me I didn't really care too much for it because we watched. What was that one movie I had her sit down and watch me with? No Country for Old Men. Yeah, yeah, she watched that one. Oh, you didn't see that one?
No, never seen that one. No.
Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting. The guy who plays the villain in it, he is so cold. Think of Frank Castle. That's who he reminds me of. Frank Castle.
Oh, okay.
Imagine Frank Castle being completely bad, if I could put it that way. That's who the villain is. It reminds me of. But there's some crazy stuff, man. The guy's smart too. Is the villain? He is smart.
You get me a list of movies that we'll be watching here soon.
yeah. There's quite a bit that I've been watching. I've been going back on to watch between watching wrestling on YouTube, and
sure.
I mean, there's so much wrestling to pull up on YouTube. There, it's ridiculous. Like we were talking about earlier, and
Japanese, German wrestling, you name it, it's there for you. It's not like how it was in the 80s and 90s. We have that opportunity to get online and push a button and watch anything we want these days. There's so much out there.
Yeah. There's so much content out there.
Yes.
The tape trading days. Did you ever do that back in the day, growing up? The tape trading days.
Oh yeah.
What tapes did you trade back and forth with your friends?
Mostly they were WWF, like Super Tape 92, Smack 'em Whack 'em, the Coliseum videotapes.
Uh-huh.
I know there's a lot of guys that traded like international tapes and stuff, but I was just like basically into the Coliseum video trades. It was available, it was easy. Sometimes they'd be on sale, Blockbuster Video, and then I'd go buy some, and I'd trade them with my friends and what they had and stuff like that. But yeah,
that's cool, man. That's cool.
Lord Alfred Hayes. I'll never forget Lord Alfred Hayes.
Lord Alfred Hayes.
Yeah, he was definitely the voice for the Coliseum home videos back in the trade days.
I'm gonna have to pull that up. Have you looked it up on YouTube, if it's on YouTube? Because if it is, I'm gonna have to look it up, check it out.
What, the Coliseum videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find them unless WWE like blocked them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Super Tape 92, Smack 'em Whack 'em, Rampage 91, Hulkamania 1 through 6. There's so many. Just type up Coliseum video. You might find some. Somebody might have on there.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's not flat or anything. So check them out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I came upon HWA when I was looking at the content to talk about with Jackson Breeze and Cody Hawk.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how much HWA stuff is out there.
Wow. From Les Thatcher days to man, so much talent came out of the HWA too.
Yeah, that's
amazing.
That's one thing that Jackson Breeze and Cody Hawk were talking about when I had them on there. Just all the talent and stuff, and them doing the Brian Pillman events.
Memorial shows, yeah, they've had some major classic matches. If you can get your hands on a disc or something out there of some of those Brian Pillman memorial shows. They had massive Benoit and all kinds of stuff. A lot of names coming in, doing these 4-star matches. It was truly amazing to see. I seen a few over the years and stuff, and it's pretty cool. You would definitely love it, man. You would definitely love seeing any kind of videos that are out there, or DVDs or whatnot. I'm sure you could find some stuff online too. I'm sure there's some content out to where you can check some matches.
Yeah, I know. I came upon I think there's one event that I came upon that I didn't get to sit down and watch though, but it's out there. I seen it when I was looking at HWA stuff when I was looking at stuff to talk with Cody Hawk there, and I came upon a Brian Pillman memorial event there. I forget which year it was, but one of them's on YouTube, so I'm gonna have to go back and look at that there.
Oh yeah, you definitely want to check it out. A lot of great matches, and it's amazing.
it is. Brian Pillman, man. He was something else, man. When
he was the full package.
Yeah. He was.
It's cool to see his son out there doing his thing too.
Yeah.
Right now. Pillman Jr., he's out there traveling and doing this stuff, so that's pretty cool as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I know David, I think it was last year, a couple years ago, David C. Russell had him on Deathmatch Wrestling Podcast. Yeah. And that was a pretty good episode there. And Brian, have you had the pleasure of wrestling with him in the ring yet, or have you done any shows with him yet?
We shared many locker rooms together. Such a down to earth guy.
Yeah.
He would always ride up to Port Huron when we do Blue Water Championship Wrestling with Cody and Sean Casey, and that's how we met. And he's a pretty cool guy.
That's
no doubt.
That's cool. That's cool. I love the when I think of Brian Pillman, I think of the him and Austin feud they had when
with the gun and going to his house in Cincinnati, and that's some classic stuff right there.
Oh yeah. that's some good stuff. I think I forgot who I was talking with about that. I think it was Jackson when I had Jackson Breeze on, because I said at that time there when that happened, it was with Jackson when I had him on the show. When that happened there, I remember when it aired that actually
I seen it live. I actually did. Yeah, I remember.
Grandmothers and mothers were calling the police because that's how real it looked there.
It was so different. No one was doing that at the time.
No. No.
People like to call police on wrestling angles. It's actually happened to me before with a one-man crew. I'm sure he told you that story. But. Yeah, same with Austin Pillman. People calling the police, and there's some believers out there, man. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
you got believers, man, that believe in you, and they, you want to do your best to entertain them, no doubt about that.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
Since we're on that, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Crazy event that you were at where a grandmother or mother almost went over the rails to go after someone that you witnessed, or were you a part of a match against someone that happened? A
grandmother goes over the rail?
Yeah, tries to, or when the heel walks by and she's so into it, she's wanting to slap him because she can't stand him.
Gosh, sounds like some shows I was down in Kentucky at. They get pretty wild down there. I can't remember exactly where, but I do remember, a lot of people are at ringside and they get so hot, especially down in the South. I can remember this guy named Gus. He was down in Owensboro, Kentucky, and this guy, he would try to jump the rails, and he'd want to take out people. He'd be waiting for some of the guys outside, and there's actually police called, I remember one time. And they called him Gus. He was a regular at an event, and he was an older gentleman, and he'd go off and go nuts. But over the years, you see so many people doing that, older people too, and they get worked up, and I can't pinpoint what times, but I do remember Gus though. This old feisty and ready to fight, no doubt.
That's it's a good show when you got the grandmother or mother that's getting ready to pop over the barricade and wanting to slap the heel. They're wanting to slap them in the face so bad. It's a good show. You got them in your hand, man. You got them
in the palm of your hands.
Yeah.
And they come back for more. They do. They tell their friends when they get home, that wrestler, I'll tell you what right now, they got me worked up. I'm ready. I'm going to bring my group, my posse next time. We're going to go take them wrestlers out. Yeah, that's, they word of mouth. And their friends come and they get all worked up, and then you're building the crowds and getting more people pissed off.
Next thing you know, you got grandmother there with her bridge club there, and you got the Golden Girls getting ready to get in the ring.
What's happening, man? Old people going off trying to slap people, or people trying to stab wrestlers over the years. It's crazy what goes on.
It is. I've had this conversation with, I think Damian Saint comes to mind, because when we did that one episode, I forget which episode it was, but he was talking about, because it was the night that Bret Hart got attacked at the Hall of Fame. I was watching it.
Oh yes, I remember. Yes.
Yeah, because Damian was supposed to be a guest on that later that week. So I was sitting there going back and forth like, hey, what are we doing this week? And I'm like, yeah, we're going to be talking about this, discussing this. Okay. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, at a show. And I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, damn. And I sent him, I was like, Bret Hart got attacked at Hall of Fame. And then when he was on the show, he said that same night, some guy tried to go after him. And in he was warned, don't do it. And then during the show, he did get over the barricade and came after Damian, and he got him ejected. He got beat down and ejected from the show.
Oh, wow.
And then a friend of his that same night told him, he said, yeah, we had to eject a guy who got involved. And he said, dude, that just happened to me. And then Bret, that is like the same night, all this is happening.
All at the same time. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
these people come in there and they want to be part of the show so bad. They just feel this urge to just jump the rail and attack these people.
It's ridiculous. Yeah,
man.
It's if you think about it,
damn it, it's real to them.
Yeah, it's real to them. If you think about it, you spend X amount on a ticket. Then you go to the concession stand. You spend X amount on that. Then you buy the merchandise. Then you go and sit down. You watch the show. Then you get yourself involved and get kicked out. You just wasted all that money for nothing.
Just wasted a lot of money. Yes, you have.
Yeah, you wasted all that money for nothing, man.
You're banned from all the rest of the shows too.
Yeah. You ruin your entertainment. You ruin your entertainment. Yep. I feel bad for the family. I mentioned on one of the shows, I feel bad for the family who takes their grandma and she tries to get involved and she gets ejected. And they come home. It's like, hey, how was wrestling tonight? Everything was good till grandma decided to become part of the show. And, that's right, I did.
Great memories.
Yeah. Great memories right there.
I mean, when you were going to the shows at a young age, didn't you just want to get in there and just jump in there and just beat somebody up? I remember when I was younger, I wanted to do that. It's just like, the workers, they got you into it, and it's like, did you just want to jump in there? And especially when your wrestler got beat down, you want to go in there and make the save, and you have all this plan for the next show, how you want to save them or help them or something. I had all those thoughts when I was a kid that I was going to do that.
But damn it, it's still real to me.
Even though I'm 80 years old, I'm still thinking about going in there and beating that wrestler up.
I don't know. Wrestling, yeah. I don't know if you heard about me talking about my father, me growing up watching wrestling with my father. I don't know if talked about that. I think you did. You watched when I was on the episode of Wrestling Rage when I was talking about my father watching wrestling. Yeah. I don't know if you caught that, but my father, big Dusty Rhodes fan, Loved Dusty Rhodes, and he would cuss and scream at the TV every time Ric Flair came out there because he didn't like Ric Flair going after Dusty.
Yeah.
And he really did blow a gasket when. Do you remember that video? I posted it up on my timeline there not too long ago with the Four Horsemen, with Ole and Arn and JJ jumping Dusty Rhodes, tying him up to a truck and beating him down with a crutch and a 2x4.
They took it seriously too.
Do you remember that? Where they followed him in the parking lot? I remember that now as a kid because my dad got fired up, man. He went off the hinges. He's like, no one does that Dusty, man. Heck no.
No. I would sit there and watch wrestling with my grandmother. I grew up watching it with my grandmother. She goes, I hate that Ric Flair. If it says, whoa, one more time, I just want to slap him in his face. She goes, but that Elizabeth, she is just such a sweet lady. What's she doing with that crazy freak macho man? He controls her, and she got all into it. It was great. Yeah. But
yeah, that speaking of Macho Man.
Ooh,
and
yeah, brother. Wait.
Have you watched any of Dark Side of the Ring? Have you watched any of those episodes?
I've watched almost every episode. That is a very great show to watch. Definitely.
Yeah. I've made my way to watching episodes. I still haven't got to the one with New Jack, Superfly Snuka.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, New Jack?
Which takes out Gypsy Joe. I remember. Oh, yeah. Shows the whole history of him. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's one crazy guy where they went back and to the era when he was with the Gangstas and USWA and all that. That's cool.
I'm going to have to check that one out.
Dino Bravo's interesting.
Yeah, I started watching that. I didn't get to finish it.
If you read a lot of subtitles, you better put on some glasses if you have bad eyesight. But for its Canadian accents.
Yeah.
Owen Hart's just got released last week. That was a really good one.
Yeah, I seen that one there.
The Von Erich one is very interesting as well.
I didn't see that one yet. I was going to watch that after the Dino Bravo one because, I mean, look at that family right there. They had a really good feud with the Freebirds, man. That Texas wrestling there. Wow. Man, yeah. Freebirds and Von Erichs. They love the Von Erichs. They hated Michael Hayes.
Oh, yeah. They brought wrestling to Texas, and I tell you what, those fans, they came in just piling in there.
Yeah.
They see some wrestling, and they put it on, the Von Erichs. Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but it's such a shame that half the family... Yeah, there's Eric Von Erich. He's the last one left, ain't he?
Yeah.
It's
just crazy how one after another. It's just like, man, how does that happen? How can somebody handle that? You know, it's like one death after another. I can't imagine that. You know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's hard.
My brother, my older brother, used to come after me and do wrestling. He'd grab a hold of me and wrestle and come off his bed there doing the Macho Man elbow to me and stuff, and I'd hate it. He always put the brain claw on me and I'd scream and stuff. My parents were like, quit bothering your brother.
Yeah, you might start seeing black after a while. I know I have when I had the claw put on me.
I liked it when what is it? The Tongue of Death Grip from Ming. I remember that in WCW. I love that move. He'd sit there and I like it. He'd hold it and go, and just and the person's like in agony, man.
All the jobbers selling it, like shaking and twitching, and that's great.
And then they're trying to pull him off, and they can't pull him off. That's some great stuff, man. And
then you go lash out at him if he tried to pull him off. He'd make the ref jump. Man, that's some good wrestling back in the day, man.
That is. I love that because it was so great and so entertaining there because
It was.
and the announcers, I love how the announcers get fired up. They better get someone out here.
Yeah, you had Monsoon and Heenan together, and
oh god,
Jesse Ventura and cracking his jokes, and
yeah.
There's not any commentary teams out there like that these days.
Nah.
Man.
Now who is your favorite there for commentary? Who was your favorite?
Oh, Monsoon and Heenan, no doubt about that.
Oh,
I don't
God.
even have to think about that.
Mine too. Primetime wrestling.
Oh.
I was fortunate enough to be able to get to stay up kind of late to watch it there on Tuesday nights. Yeah. And remember when Heenan took Monsoon out in the woods to look for Andre's training camp?
No, I don't remember that, but thanks for letting me know because I will find it.
What happened was it's great. I'm laughing about it because like I'm laughing so much I can't talk about it. But it's Bobby Heenan takes Monsoon out there to Andre's training camp, and they're walking around the woods there, and he's eating bananas, and Monsoon is like, "What do you got there, Braid?" He's like, "Bananas." And he's like, "For what?" And he's like, "I brought some for you and me. I figured you need more of them. For God's sakes, come on, let's go, Brain." So they're
Give me a break.
yeah, give me a break. So he's eating a banana, and he throws down the peel, and he walks off. And then he's like, "Where is it?" "It's this way. It's this way." We come back, and they stop. And Monsoon's like, "Brain, where is it?" And he's like, "It's over that way. You said that it was this way. Look, we went back in circles. This same banana peeled." He's like, "What? No, it's not." He's like, "For God's sakes, you're putting me in circles. You don't know where you're at."
Be serious. Would you be serious, Brain? Oh, yeah.
It's one of those great segments there, man. It was one of my favorite ones with those guys.
Yeah, I gotta check that out, man. They bring back some great memories, especially at WrestleMania 8. They were really good together.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, he had a lot of things. Brain had a lot to say that night.
Yeah, he did. WrestleMania 8. Yeah, he definitely did. And I liked Kurt Hennig when he did commentary, and Roddy Piper when they do commentary.
Yeah. That was all that commentary stuff back then. It was entertainment, whoever it was good stuff.
I liked it. Yeah. I liked when Undertaker debuted at Survivor Series, and when he walked out, and when Piper's on commentary, he's like, "Oh, look at that big ham hog!" I love that.
Breaking them in when he probably meant it too. Yeah. That's a lot about Piper too in his commentary. He would shoot these cheap shots of these guys, and you wouldn't get it until you're in the business and you got older. You're like, "Oh my God, he's actually really making fun of this guy." And he did. Piper did it. Jesse Ventura did it. Yeah, he would shoot on them. They wouldn't even care.
I know.
They just shoot on them. As a kid, I didn't get it. I was like, "Oh, that's kind of mean," but as you grow up, you're just like, "Oh my God, he just said that about him."
My favorite, I've mentioned this before, but my favorite moment is the barbershop, British barbershop, when the Rockers broke up, and when Michaels threw Jannetty through the window, and then what he said when Monsoon or Ventura said, yeah, it was Monsoon. Monsoon. Said, yeah, look at that, Brain. Look what Michaels did to Jannetty. And, Robbie's like, "I know. Look at that coward. He jumped through the window."
Yeah. Yeah, look at him. He just jumped right through the window.
Yeah, he threw him through the window. I saw something funny. Did you ever see that? That it's kayfabe wrestling news. It was someone put it on the news feed or on Facebook, and they said after so many X years, Shawn Michaels finally paid Brutus Beefcake back for breaking his window.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
I was laughing at that stuff, and there was It was funny a while back ago. Dave Meltzer was getting a lot of heat for the Wrestling Observer, and this fake Twitter account, or I don't know, they're probably still around. I don't know. They were called themselves the Wrestling Observer, and they said Wrestling Observer, and it said breaking news.
That man crew.
They put a tweet out there that said it was from the Wrestling Observer. That said breaking news: Big Show admitted that he was the giant in WCW.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me.
Stuff like that there. That's crazy. Yeah. You mentioned Masked Wrestler. Man.
Masked Wrestler.
He tried to hijack my show.
I seen that. He hijacked it, and once he found out Crew was on his way, he was out the door, wasn't he?
Heck yeah, he was. Did you think I handled that pretty well?
Yeah, you handled that very well. Definitely. You definitely handled that.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talking about people go to the show for a hot dog and a Coke. Actually, they go there for the hot dog and a Coke. He's secondary entertainment there.
Yeah.
That's what he is, secondary entertainment there, the Masked Wrestler. Yeah, he tried to hijack my show. Thank God One Man Crew showed up and took him out.
Yeah, showed up. And where'd he send Crew at? To a place told me he won a bunch of money or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, he told him he won a bunch of money and he ended up going to one of those sperm banks. He got
sperm banks, that's what it was. I tell you what, I remember years ago, Crew, he says, hey man, he was down in Alabama at the time doing indie shows, and he's like, hey, he would send me these videos. Hey, check out this gimmick, man, I've been doing. He's like, ever since I've been down here, this is what this wrestling world reminds me of. So I just put it all together. And he starts sending me these videos, man. I would be laughing. I couldn't stop laughing at all those videos he would send me. And there's two people that make me laugh so hard, and he's definitely one of those guys. I can't stop laughing, and he would send me those videos just talking about random stuff. I'd be at work one day, oh, here's my new one, and I'm just like, oh my God, you just said that. But yeah, he's a very interesting character, that's for sure, the Masked Wrestler is.
Yeah, I love it, man. He's interesting. He definitely is interesting there.
Yeah, especially going down wrestling down south and stuff, and then him cutting promos like that. Yeah, you do run in and meet people like that. They'd be walking around with their hoods on their faces, and hey, you wrestler, and he combines all that. Oh shoot, he's something else.
He is. I enjoyed him coming on here the last couple times. What's that?
You had him on twice already, haven't you?
Yeah, he was on episode 192, and then he decided to come back again, and I had him on episode 196 there. Yeah. So I had a little break
he's got a lot of never-ending stories, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm still laughing about on that first appearance he was on there with the story about the spray bottle.
Yeah.
that right there, I've heard. Huh?
He needs to write a book of all the experiences he's been through over the years. He could. I just laughed so hard about the spray bottle. I've heard a lot of crazy stuff, but that was the most craziest thing I've ever heard of. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And what got me was when he said he turned around and he sprayed it in his mouth.
Character.
That is. But yeah,
I met him in my hometown. We were doing a show in my hometown of Lima, and he was. That's where I met him at. And we've been friends ever since, man. He's come so far. I'm so proud of him, you know.
He has. He's come really far. When I was talking with
a lot of people wrong, and he kept going, and he believes in himself. He's like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And when he would tell you he's going to do something, my God, he's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very inspiring.
Yeah. Yeah, his story is really inspiring. He needs to write a book about his life and his experience.
No.
He does because people would be amazed what he's went through and what he's already told on my show.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, I would rather get the audio book so I can listen to him talk as he reads his story, because you know it's going to be vulgar and he's going to have to add his cuss words into it too, and that'll make the best of it so you can hear it with his own voice.
Yeah, that'd be great. Audio book by one man crew, man. That would be
that'll definitely be a
yeah, that
interesting.
Yeah, that'd definitely be
audio.
Yeah, audio book. 5 point Dolby Digital 5.0 surround.
Yeah, get a free hip hop CD with it. Heck yeah, man! He can make some big bucks there in Guam right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. He's over at Guam. In the times I talk to him, it's like the following day in Guam in the morning, and then he said to me, and he was like, "Dude, I time travel. I'm talking to someone that was from yesterday."
Yeah, that's him, all right.
That's great. It's funny. That is funny. Right. But I'm glad you're doing all right, and I'm glad that everything's worked out great. You're going to be going back in the ring, and
I'm excited.
Anything, or is that the only booking you have just right now? The one that's coming up?
Yeah, right now with Indiana opening it up, I'll be finished off the rest of the year in Indiana until everything else opens up. So I'll be in Indiana the rest of the year on some shows. So at least once a month in Indiana until all this goes. I'm looking forward to going back up to Michigan. I know they're pretty strict up there right now.
Yeah.
I got a lot of spots in Michigan I can't wait to go back to. But, man, this shoulder break, I'm telling you what, it felt like it was the end of the world. And for me to start feeling better now and getting back in the swing of things, I just can't wait to be back there in the ring and entertain everybody again. So, looking forward to it, man. No doubt.
Nice. I'm definitely looking forward to it there. And I know right before we started recording tonight, that you mentioned about you got to go up to Future Great Wrestling there, and you got to check it out, and you got to actually get in the ring and
work with Cody a little bit. Yeah,
tell me about that.
It was a great experience. I got a hold of Cody, and I went down there, and he showed me around, the school and stuff, and I was wanting to learn how to slow down a little bit, and just learn different holds, because, in training, you're training 20 years ago, I still have that mentality, like I was telling you, you never stop learning, and, you want to go and learn from whoever, like guys like Cody, that's reputable in this business, so I want to go down there, and, it was a great experience. We just wrestled around for a few hours, and it was good. And I'm looking forward to going back down there with him. I'm still planning on doing that again, and training with those guys and going with some of his classes and stuff. Because I got that fire. Coming back into the wrestling ring. I want to be my best. So I want to go into school with the best to prepare and get better. So no doubt about that. And Cody's such a good dude too. Cody's awesome. Yeah, he's definitely cool guy to hang out with and everything. So, yeah, he's one of my favorite people. He's really down to earth guy.
That's amazing, man. That's great. Yeah. You Got to check out the FGW arena there and got to check out.
Yeah. It was really cool, man. They have a gym there, you know, all that stuff in that ring, and great light show and all that stuff. But yeah, I was actually talking to Cody Fleming. Hopefully soon, when all this stuff's over, they're going to stop by and pick me up. We're going to go down there and check out some future great wrestling.
Hell yeah.
I got a lot of friends down there too. I got Gary Powell down there, Eric Fallen. I'm sure if you heard of him. I don't know if he's on some of the DVDs they've released, but he's a good friend. Robin, Cody, Sean Casey. All those guys are pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to meeting that Ricky Glam guy, though.
Yeah, Ricky Glam. You met? Yeah. I could actually.
I would love to have a feud with that guy.
That would be something right there. You and Ricky Glam, man. That would be something right there.
We'll make some magic, baby.
That'd be neat.
Yes.
I talked to Harley Fairfax, and I've known Harley because back when she worked for that one promotion down south in Kentucky, that's how I got to know Harley before she went to FGW, and she told me, she said, you got to get up here, and some of the talent FGW said, when you coming up to Hamilton for a show. I'd love to go to a show. Honestly, I'd like to be at the show when you and Cody Fleming and the Wrestling Rage crew is there.
Yeah, that would be a great time.
Dude,
oh man,
you imagine that
would be a night I will never forget. That's for sure.
You imagine
we must have to do this. This would be a really good time. Yeah.
You imagine me, you, Cody Fleming, Josh, Danny, Robin. Oh my God.
Now Josh Harper hates Mr. Fitness.
He does?
The Master Wrestler hates Mr. Fitness. Yeah, he actually hates Mr. Fitness on Trimmons, the whole Twinkie Power deal. And he would always boo us at the shows. He was the only guy that would boo us, Josh Harper.
Really?
And, yeah, come to find out, like, people, like, used to tease him as a kid with Twinkies.
Oh.
So, he was, like, overweight. But he's been cool to me ever since, so he actually helped me with my car when I broke down in Michigan.
Really?
I had 2 snows one day, and I broke down, and my windshield wiper stopped working, and him and Cody came out and actually helped me when I was there at, what's the name of that promotion? BCWA Wrestling, Blue Collar.
Yeah.
And, Josh actually helped me out. But, yeah, he would always, like, he'd always bring these marker boards saying, I hate Twinkie Power and all that. And we'd mess with him. We'd toss him Twinkies anyway, and he'd get so mad. You'd see expression on his face. But Cody and Danny, they're like all about it. And Danny's son, Skyjacker, we brought him into the ring one time. And, yeah, we had good times with those guys. And you added to it, man. What a great time that's going to be.
Oh, man, now that definitely would be, man. They'd probably run us out of the building.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
They'd run us out of the building there because we'd be the rowdy. Imagine all of us sitting in one section there and just oh man, we would. That would be something, man. I'd be looking forward to it. I definitely would because
well, hopefully when everything's up and running again, man, we got to definitely make that plan. I know Cody said. I told him, actually, I said, hey, pick me up on the way because it's on the way, but you got a little ways to go, but, man, it'll definitely be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I definitely like to be up there, have all of us right there at the same time.
Oh, man, that would be a great night. We'll make the whole weekend out of it, for crying out loud.
I know. That'd be something right there. I definitely would enjoy that, but I'm glad everything's all right, and you're hanging in there. You're gonna get back in the ring, and the good times are rolling, man. And they're gonna be rolling again for you.
Feeling that Twinkie Power, I'm ready to go and kick some buttocks.
Hell yeah. Talking about Twinkie, man, I can't take it no more. This thing's, I've been staring at this thing. The thing is I've been staring at it the whole time. We're talking about food, talking about Twinkies. It's like,
I would have ate a whole box by now while you're talking to me, just like,
Look how golden crisp these things are, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, man. Like I said, man, ecstasy of the mouth, man. You take that first bite and you're like, man, you're in heaven.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to try a deep fried Twinkie just to try it
Oh,
once.
they're absolutely wonderful. You got to try a deep fried Twinkie. Oh, yeah. Do you feel the burn?
Mm-hmm.
You feel the cream within your veins ready to just like go and be the all you can be, man. Yes, indeed.
Twinkie power.
Twinkie power. Yes, indeed.
Heck yeah. I love it. I love it. I'll tell you what, the Twinkie powers hit me so hard. My daughter may have a brother and sister here in 9 months.
The cream within, like I was saying earlier, it works. Oh, man, thank you so much for having me on, man. And what an honor it is. I enjoy talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
And many more to come. And hopefully, yeah, we need to get together for that future great wrestling. Yeah, we got to make this an ultimate plan, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely, because yes. I definitely love to do that. Go up there, make a trip up there, because I have family that lives in Cleveland, and
oh, cool,
mm-hmm. Yeah, I still have family that lives in Cleveland there. Because
you're more welcome to stay at my house too, as well, and we'll just make a whole weekend or a week out of it if you want. So make your trip worthwhile. You know, where you're like, oh, 2 days are up already. Stay for 7.
Yeah.
But I am sure you can.
Because I talked to my wife about it, and she said, that's a long drive. I said, we would stop in Tennessee where I spent 11 years at and cut it in half, where it's not that far. Because we looked on the map from how far it is from where I lived at in Tennessee to Hamilton.
Sure.
It's only like 4 hours. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm like, that ain't bad.
But, you know, if you bring her too, time will go so much fast too. You have somebody to talk to when you're driving and all that. So. Oh,
she'd be coming with me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She'd definitely be coming with me. But yeah, we're definitely gonna have to discuss more about that. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, we'll definitely keep in contact and make that happen. That's definitely on the list to do, no doubt.
Hell yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. And thanks for coming on. And
thank you.
Before we close out here, where can people find more Mr. Fitness Slim Trimmons at on social media?
Okay, well, you can go to Mr. Fitness Slim Trimmons /Twinkie Power on Facebook. That's my fan page. Go ahead and hit the like and follow some of my stuff on there. Joshua Lee Blanchard, it's my personal page. Go ahead and add me. Send me a message. I'll talk to you. I'm not stuck up. I'll talk to everybody. That's how I am. Instagram, Mr. Fitness 01, and you can also order merchandise at theartsofwrestling.com /Slim's Gym. Also, you can check me in the video game world as you're getting some merch, and that's what I'm doing during quarantine. I'm doing the video game promo stuff, and that's fun, up my skills on the promo level, and getting ready for the ring again. So, yeah, I'm doing things while this stuff's going on, and that's where you can find me, so check it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And before I do close, Twinkie Power. There you go. Gotcha. I had to switch camera angles there. I missed it almost.
Yeah, because my arm's so big from all those Twinkies I eat, so. Biceps are just bulging.
Damn, look at those guns.
Yeah, well, you know it.
And before we do wrap it up here, I do want to plug this right here. Podcasting Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Head over to podcasting.net for great content and great shows over on the website. Hit them up on Facebook, Podcasting Network. Give them a thumbs up and a follow. Send them a tweet over on Twitter @PodcastingNet. Subscribe to their YouTube channel for video podcast, over on Podcast City Network and on Twitch, Podcast City Network. You want more Everett Lee? Then hit me up on Facebook. Give me a thumbs up and a follow, Everett Lee Show. Twitter at @TheEverettLeeShow. Instagram, Everett Lee Show. And audio portions of this podcast and previously released podcast, head over to YouTube, The Everett Lee Show, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, Podbean, and iHeartRadio. I want to thank my guests, Mr. Fitness, Slim Trimmons, Twinkie Power again for coming on. And that is it for the Everett Lee Show. And I'll see you again next time for another episode of the Everett Lee Show. Peace.